Alright, hello everyone, we're back here. I just thought I would do a little quick episode here on our little road trip that I did with my Aunt Ursula, my great Aunt Ursula, up from Pforzheim, southern Germany, up to northern Germany in Bielefeld. So that was, I think, on day 8 or 9 of my time in Germany that I had been spending with my relatives in Pforzheim. We went up to go visit some more relatives in Bielefeld, and these relatives that I have in Bielefeld, Christopher, the husband, Audrey, the wife, Leonardo, Augustine, Ferdinand, and Felicia are the 4 children. All of them are awesome to be around. I love them very much, and I can't wait to get back to Germany and spend more time with them. They were a lovely family, and I had a really good time spending some time with them. And basically, it was what was, I think, the best part about going and visiting this family was that they were the perfect mix for me of what I saw in the future, or what I kind of envisioned. Like, Audrey was very artsy and Christopher was very business-like, and through that that was like everything I was at the time, or still am. I really appreciate the arts, but I also really enjoy getting down into the business and checking out some things. So for the first day I was with them, I was only up in Bielefeld for 2 days. The first day we went to a Bachstein museum, or I guess Bachstein's old house, which is now turned into a museum. Bachstein is a very well-known artist back from the 1900s, I believe. And so we went out to this cottage country, and Audrey showed us around, and she knows quite a bit about art and whatnot. Their house is filled with art as well, which I got to check out, and that was absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, back at the Bachstein house, it was cool going with the kids and seeing them, like, some of them interested, other ones are not so interested, and some of them are interested for very weird reasons, and some of them are very interested for their own other very weird reasons. So I found it quite interesting just spending time in the Bachstein Museum with Audrey and the guide that she knew personally, and just spending time with them, getting to know kind of the heritage of the Bachstein tradition and art, and how his upbringing came up and everything. You can Google more about Bachstein if you want to learn more about him, but his art was absolutely phenomenal. And so the next day after that, I think it was probably the highlight. I called it one of the highlights of my trip, definitely at one point, and I still look back on it and think, you know what, it was definitely up there with one of the highlights. The second day, I went from moving to the arts into the business. Christoph and his family have been running the Horman door manufacturing company for a number of years now, since its foundation. And I got a chance, which I'm speechless about, to go and tour some of their facilities in Germany, and I found that was the coolest thing for me. I'm a business student by concentration back home, so taking a break, but then going out to check out a multinational door manufacturing company's operations and how they manufacture garage door openers, to the actual large commercial doors, to small residential doors, seeing the expansion of their showroom and a whole building that they're putting in there. And I think the most impressive thing for me was their system that was constantly optimizing itself in their inventory control, and just watching this all go together. I didn't actually get to do it with Christopher, but I got one of his people to come and kind of tour me around the factories and such, and it was just such a cool experience to come in there. I felt like an investor, like I was going around meeting people in the factories and just checking out what was going on, and it all seemed ridiculously clean, very well engineered. Like, everything was very efficient in its process, and everyone looked like they were having an amazing time. So I was just like really happy to see this kind of factory setting. I might have some photos. I don't have many photos of Bielefeld though, unfortunately. And so yeah, and that night, I guess the one evening we had in Bielefeld, we went to a restaurant, a traditional German restaurant, and I had cordon bleu with a Pilsner, which I felt was pretty a great finish to the trip I had in Bielefeld. And the next morning, Ursula and I raced on back down south to Pforzheim with Augustina, because he was going to the consulate, or Leonard, what was it? I think Augustine was going to the consulate to get a passport so we could do some traveling later that summer. I believe. I could have the story mixed up, but I was just so amazed at going down the Autobahn with Ursula. I mean, it was 40 degrees. They said, like, don't go too fast, there's speed bubble, or like there's bumps in the concrete that are being formed. I was like, that's ridiculous. and but it was true. So the speed cars and the race cars couldn't go the speeds that they wanted to go because it would create concrete bubbles through some kind of physics and force that they're pulling behind them. And there's Ursula, my 85-year-old, maybe 70, maybe she's in her 70s. I'm not sure. Bad that I don't know that. I apologize. But yeah, Ursula was just awesome because she would just roar down this highway at like 160, 80 kilometers an hour. And I'm like, there's no way my grandma would be going 170 kilometers on the highway, even if the speed limit was 170. Like, it was absolutely incredible. But I just wanted to share that quick stories with you guys about Bielefeld, the small little town outside of Hamburg in the northwest of Germany, and I found it absolutely beautiful. We also did a little bit of sightseeing, and the landscape is absolutely phenomenal up there. So I guess the next stop from us, we went back to Pforzheim, had a quick visit, and I spent a weekend in Prague. So the next thing you guys will hear from me, I guess, will be in my journeys in Prague and what those were like. I went Han Solo for the first time and didn't really meet anyone in Prague. So I'll explain a little bit about what that was like, really traveling solo and not having anyone to talk to. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and keep it casing, boys.